Hello friends! In this tutorial we are going to learn how to really easy create blocking moves and blocking counter attacks in our fighting game. Let me remind you, the True Fighting Game Engine is my project that allows you to create your own AAA class fighting games. You can easily add attacks, combos and hit animations, import characters based on any skeletons, and create either single-player or multiplayer fighting games. And you can create either Mortal Kombat style or Tekken style game, depending on your needs. You can find the link to the project in the description below this video. And now, let's begin. Let's start the True Fighting Game Engine project. It is the latest build released in April 2023. And for the sake of this tutorial, let's open the local multiplayer map. Why am I going to use this map? It's because on this map I can control the left player with my keyboard and the right player with my gamepad. So I will be able to test my blocks and counterattacks by hitting keys on my keyboard and on my gamepad to check out if my blocks work. Right? So I have already imported some blocking attacks from the Fighting Set Pro. Unfortunately, I cannot distribute them because of the copyright, but you can actually use any animations for your needs. We can see that the animations that I have copied to my content folder have some skeleton set up for them, but that's not the skeleton I want to use, because the True Fighting Game Engine contains its own skeleton for the UE4 character. It's this. So let's first assign this skeleton to these animations. I just open up all the animations and the editor prompts me to choose the skeleton, and we select the mannequin skeleton. It means UE4 skeleton used in the True Fighting Game Engine. I actually don't need all these animations. I believe I will only use this one, but we will see. It's just a sign. The skeleton to all of them for now. And this one is not working, I don't know why, but that's not a problem. We actually don't need all of these animations. So I see these two animations don't work for some reason. I will just delete them. Let's save all. Alright. And I think I will only use this one animation for now. You see, the actor blocks. So let's right click on this animation and create an animation montage. We right click, select the create option, and from the pop-up menu we select the create any montage. But for the testing purpose, let's make this animation a little bit longer. Let's increase the time of this animation. I will just scale its rate to 0.3 for now. So when we will be testing the block functionality, we will have time to check it out if the character is actually blocking text. Right. We save. But what we need to do, we are only going to use these two animations, so I believe I can just remove the rest. I select all the unused animations with the control and left mouse click, and I right click and select the delete, and I force delete. But as we can see, this animation is assigned and it is created for the UE4 skeleton. But on our scene we currently have Queen UE5 fighters. So let's retarget this animation and this animation montage to the UE5 skeleton. And before doing that, let's navigate to the demo characters Queen and create a new folder under the Queen folder and name the folder blocks. Right? So go back to our animations and we right click our animation montage and we select retarget animation assets. And we then select duplicate and retarget animation assets. And as the IK retargeter, we select the RTG UE4 many to UE5 many. But as the target skeletal mesh, we are going to select the SKM Queen. And let's add the suffix to the name. I type here Queen underscore Queen UE5. And we are going to change the destination folder to our newly created folder under the TrueFG demo characters Queen blocks. Okay. And we make sure that the remap referenced assets checkbox is selected, so it will automatically retarget not only the montage but the animation used in this montage as well. And we click the retarget button. We see our montage and our animation have been retargeted, and we save all. Now, how do we add the block and move set? We actually add it just as we do for usual attack. If you are unfamiliar with that, I will place a link to the tutorial on how to add attacks to the True Fighting game engine. But basically, what are we going to do? We go to the content through FG blueprints, and we open up the BP through FG settings. And at the left tab under the variables, we select the movesets variable containing our movesets, and we expand the punch queen moveset that contains all the attacks for the queen, for the UE5 skeleton that is being used on the current level. And we can actually either add a new attack, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to replace one of the basic attacks with our blocking montage. So I expand the very first attack, which is linked to a button light punch. By default it is the U key on the keyboard, as I remember, and I believe it is the Y button on my gamepad. But it is by default. If you have changed this for your particular attacks, it can be other in your case. So first of all, what are we going to do to make the attack, the move to be a block? We hit the drop-down list near the attack type, and we scroll down and we select the block attack type, right? And we may set the attack range to 0. We can either leave the attack damage, set it to 0. By the way, we can actually create a counterattacks that combine blocking from the hit, and at the same time these blocking attacks can damage the enemy. So if we are going to do so, we can set up some damage for it. But for now we are just using our montage that is not intended to be a counterattack. It is just a simple block and move. So near the animation montage, we hit the drop-down list. Let's start block. And we select our KB block single montage for the Queen UE5. Alright? And it should already work, but just for testing purposes, let's set the damage for all the other attacks to be 10. Why are we doing this is because by default, when we are blocking an attack in the True Fighting Game engine, the attack damage is getting divided by 2. So if by default our attack damage is 10, then if the blocking works, we should see that while we are blocking, the damage should be 5. We can actually customize this number, divide the damage not by 2 but say by 10. To do so, we will need to go to our blueprint. I think I will show this later. But for now, let's save and compile all. And now I have my gamepad enabled, and I can control my right player with my gamepad and my left player with my keyboard. Alright, and when I press the Y on my gamepad, I see the blocking is being performed. So now I'm going to press the Y button on my keyboard, and a short after doing that, I will attack with my left fighter by pressing attack button on my keyboard. And let's see what happens. So, let's just see on the damage. If we perform this attack, you see the damage is 10. But if we are blocking, the damage is twice less. Right. For some reason, the true FG is not displaying, is currently not displaying the damage while blocking. I believe I should take a look, and I'm going to fix this next update. But it definitely works. Let's check it out one more time. I'm blocking and I'm hitting. By default, if we have blocked the first attack, then the first attack gives the full damage, even if we are still performing blockage. I did it just for flexibility. Now let's try to create a really simple counter attack from this montage. So let's navigate to our blocks folder and open up the montage. First of all, let's set the rate for our blockage back to 1, as we have already tested it. And after performing the block, let's add to our montage some regular attack. I think I will add this left hand power jab. Alright. But do you remember the attack tutorial? To make a damage while attacking, we should add an enemy notifier named VP activate hitbox. So we right click the notify struct, we select add notify, and we add here just before the character hits the BP activate hitbox notifier, and we save. And if you remember, in our BP through FG settings for this attack, we didn't remove the damage. Yeah, we may actually increase the attack range to 100. But you know, it is not so important. You can experiment with that. And make sure that the left hand hitbox is selected for this attack, because we have added the left jab after our blockage, after our block. And we save and compile. All right. And let's start the game once again. And now, on my gamepad, I'll press the Y button, and after that I'll try to attack with my left fighter by pressing the attack button on my keyboard. Let's try this. You see? So the basic damage is 10, but when I'm blocking and counter attacking, the damage is reduced and the counter attack works. You see that the left fighter is not reacting to the attack. If you have watched the attacks tutorial, you possibly already understand why. It's because we didn't yet edit the attack reaction for the attack type block. It is really easy. We just select the hit montages variable in our BP2FG settings. We expand the Queen 2 heat map and we add a new reaction. Near the heat map, we just hit this little plus icon. And as the attack type, we select the block. We can select some reaction for this type of attack. I just select a random one. Let's say this one. Let's check it out now. Once again, I'm counter-attacking with my right character and attacking with my left one. You see, you know, the nuance is if we are starting the counter-attacking and blocking before the left user hits, then we see this behavior. Look, our right fighter blocks the attack, but is not going to finish the counterattack because it reacts to the counterpart attack. But if the left fighter is attacking and we hit the counterattack after that, you see what happens. I now first press the attack button on my keyboard, and then the Y button on my. Huh? It's all about reaction. You see? That's basically it. Now let's just take a look on how does the blocking damage. Let's open up our BP fighting base component and search for block damage. And you see here is the node where we are setting up the damage divider for the fighter that is blocking an attack. And you can actually set here your own value to tune it for your needs. And with some additional logic, you can even add some nodes to react to different attacks with the different attack damages. Well, with different blocking attack damages, right? And that's basically it with blocking and counter attacks with the true fighting game engine for Unreal Engine 5.1, 5.0 and 5.1 and 5.2. That's it. Have a nice day and see you next time.